peace, mercy, and blessings of God be upon you. This video is an introduction to the Elliott Wave software, which is an application that focuses on Elliott's theory specifically for use in trading or in investment generally. So this theory, my friends, as you can clearly observe here, or this application, as you can plainly see, it provides us with, it fundamentally relies on advanced quantitative algorithms, and it offers us specific numerical figures. It delivers precise, consistent data that is built upon the established principles of Elliott Wave Theory, specifically within wave analysis. So to begin, we'll start with this guide, this manual actually, which is available in 3 languages, specifically English, French, and Arabic. I will try to present this particular product in the Arabic language so that everyone can benefit and fully understand the true purpose of this product, which is an application produced by Quant Holdings Ltd, a company based in Britain. This company specializes in quant research, that is quantitative research, and particularly in developing software that is related to financial markets in general. It also owns a brand name like enitrader and another registered brand called Aswak, which is a magazine active in the field in the quantitative sector as a whole. So this product, guys, or this application, its main purpose is quite simply to take Elliott Wave Theory, which is of great interest to many people, to many analysts, and to a large number of traders who are deeply interested in Elliott Wave Theory and in wave analysis, and who often spend significant amounts of money on educational training courses or on. They adopt stances for no other purpose than to acquire what is nothing more than an art of personal interpretation which may either align with or diverge from Elliott's own established rules. So this application, quite simply, is designed to transform Elliott's theory from what has traditionally been an interpretive art into a truly precise mathematical analysis, one that is firmly based on quantitative algorithms and completely devoid of any human emotion. So there is no emotion involved and absolutely no bias. First and foremost, it's crucial to highlight that Quant Holdings Ltd is a team primarily composed of engineers and not financial advisors. This means we do not advocate for a luxurious lifestyle or any kind of rapid wealth accumulation plans. So we absolutely must first grasp the true dimension of this software, understanding both its benefits and its drawbacks. This way, our reliance on it will be purely based on concrete data, nothing more and nothing less. Yes, and quickly. We understand that Elliott Wave Theory or wave analysis in its entirety, I mean, if it's going to be based purely on emotion and if it's going to be, within the very same school of thought, you'll find 5, maybe even 6 traders who are all relying on the exact same Elliott rules. Someone will tell you, one person tells you this, another tells you that. This difference in viewpoints, we explain it with one simple fact, that our reliance isn't built upon quantitative algorithms, nor is it based on purely mathematical rules. So given all of this, what exactly did we implement in this application?
Our aim was to create a software application that had been specifically trained using Elliott's established rules,
so that it can provide us with data and also give us clear validations regarding entry points, exit points for specific targets and for stop loss levels, as well as the degree of accuracy for Elliott wave patterns and the precision of Fibonacci analysis, and of course the various potential scenarios.
So let's return to the core of our discussion here. The fundamental truth is that any form of self-interpretation, especially when it is heavily influenced by personal emotions and primarily built upon mere visual conjecture or assumption, will inevitably fail to provide you with outcomes that are truly accurate or consistently reliable.
So in this case, we have relied on algorithms, on very precise algorithms. You can certainly read this guide, which is the user manual, and it's available in Arabic. For this particular video, I will endeavor to speak exclusively in Arabic. It is also available in French and it is available in English, spanning over 53 pages. It is absolutely essential that every single person, every user reads it thoroughly and carefully contemplates its content in order to fully grasp the true essence of this product and its genuine added value. Yes,
So this product is quite simply built upon sophisticated algorithms and a set of very fixed established rules. It's essentially a direct embodiment of Elliott's Wave Theory as applied in technical market analysis. And the significant added value here is that the analysis speed is incredibly fast, taking less than 5 seconds for any financial asset you might be looking at. In gold, in indices, in digital currencies, in stocks, in crypto, across various time frames from M1, M5, all the way to the monthly and weekly charts. All of this is available quickly and especially accurately. Is that clear? So the primary role of this particular software is to instantly and thoroughly verify Elliott's rules, those well-known and established rules, the very rules that we have all collectively agreed upon. This software is an expert advisor operating within MetaTrader 5, which gathers the necessary data, then proceeds to analyze it, and subsequently transmits this information through the API cloud analysis system. Following that, this quantitative engine then presents the results, as you can clearly observe here. These results will show you the extent of the accuracy of wave counting, the precision of Fibonacci analysis, and also the exact entry and exit points. This is its practical application right here on MT5. Then, applying this, I will show you how it approaches the enitrader website and how we can update the data right here. Very simply, here is an example on gold, specifically on the H4 time frame. It tells you the confidence level right here. It's 66%, and considering the trend is clearly bearish, this means the price is definitely heading downwards. This is the current wave count, and these are the precise entry points we're looking at. The golden zone, of course, is also a key factor, along with a stop loss and a take profit, which is strategically divided into 3 distinct levels. This is not meant to be a presentation of recommendations or financial consultations, but rather a true embodiment of the theoretical concept itself. So, for anyone who is genuinely interested in Elliott's theory, this represents the absolute best application that truly reflects all its inherent credibility and complete neutrality. It's simply about the theory and what it dictates to you. All right, you have your entry point right here, and your stop loss is positioned like this. If you'd like to get more detailed information, you can simply click right here. Then, with this cloud analysis, the API, it will connect you to this interface that can handle multiple languages. So, for example, if you input Arabic, it will provide you with the entry points, the stop loss points, and the targets. It provides you with wave clarity, Fibonacci's accuracy, and the DYOR metric, which we strongly recommend everyone, especially, to understand more deeply. This particular video isn't the place where we'll be explaining them in detail. Instead, one must take the time to read and discover everything explained simply and with utmost clarity. Indeed, every single aspect has been thoroughly elucidated right here. When you have a bullish signal, what is the underlying basis? How do we interpret and read the wave position in this context? How do we assess the various degrees of confidence, Fibonacci retracements, and other indicators? And how do we interpret the validator for Elliott wave principles? How do we verify if this system truly respects Elliott's rules? Pause. The first rule, for instance, clearly states that the second wave must be less than 100% of the first wave. The second rule states that the third wave, it absolutely must not be the shortest wave. It must in fact be the longest wave. The third rule says the fourth wave must not overlap, for example, with the first wave, and there are several other rules. There are a number of very specific rules that absolutely must be respected and followed so that the precision itself can truly and accurately adhere to Elliott's own established principles. Is that clear? No. So this is regarding the software. It's quite straightforward. The subscription is available right here. All right, then concerning the free section, what I mean is if you were to go and check the enitrader website, you wouldn't actually find this particular analyzer offered completely for free, but it is exclusively available for the H4 time frame.
and the update is provided after the closing of every H4 candle. Therefore, any person, whether subscribed or not, can visit the enitrader website to find the Elliott analysis. Using this analyzer right here, you'll access the store, then navigate to the Elliott Wave Analyzer. There you will find the wave count, you will find the golden zone for your entry position, you will find the stop loss, and you will find the target. Is that clear? So in this situation, you'll encounter these very same issues. However, this particular aspect relies entirely on the most recent H4 candle's closing price. What I mean is, if you were to access the H4 chart right now, you wouldn't find the price updated simply because it isn't synchronized in the free version that's made available to the general public. Understood? Alright. Now, regarding the paid versions for someone who might want to get a monthly subscription just to thoroughly test and verify this program, or perhaps an annual subscription or even a lifetime one. So there's a specific package or subscription option available. This package is either solely for subscribing to this particular expert advisor. This expert advisor has the capability to function across multiple time frames, and it can be applied to various examples such as the one we see here with Bitcoin. Now let's go back to the application itself to understand how it is downloaded. Once you have successfully subscribed, you will then receive an email that includes the download link for the Expert Advisor for use on MetaTrader 5 and also your license key. This is the license that grants you the authority to truly depend on this expert advisor. Without this specific license, you simply cannot operate, you won't be able to function. You lack the proper authorization to rely on it. You might be able to download the expert advisor, but it absolutely will not work if you don't have the essential required license. After the download has been completed, for example, right here, of this expert advisor and the license has been downloaded, I'll then come here to MetaTrader quite simply. We'll then go to the file menu here. Is that clear? A file. We'll navigate to the folder over here. A folder. Now, depending on the language you're using, of course, this specific term, dossier, is French, and it means folder. Then we're going to look for the file that's called MQL5. It's located right here, MQL5. Now, please open this particular file. What exactly are we going to find? We're going to find an expert right here, and then we'll open up some files. The expert will come over here and grab this Elliott Wave Analyzer.x5 file. You'll perform a copy and paste operation on it. Just a simple copy paste. You'll download it from this location and then place this specific file right here. This is where you'll find the expert. Then you proceed to MQL5. I'll repeat that because it's extremely important. After we go to this specific file, we then move to MQL5. We'll open MQL5 and then paste this expert advisor file. This is indeed the very first stage. However, this initial step alone won't be sufficient for you to properly operate the expert advisor. You absolutely must download and install a license. The specific license that we're referring to is this one right here. And here it is. Every person, every single user is granted one license. This particular license must not be sold, and it certainly must not be extended or shared with another individual who has a different IP address. There are specific terms and conditions that we have fully detailed and explained within this guide. Every single person must read, reread, and thoroughly check this guide because we've put the essence of it in there. Meaning, if you just read this guide, you'll understand how to use the analyzer, what you need to know, the truth about this analyzer. What exactly is required? How do you define the settings? How does the system operate? How do you link all the data? We have clarified absolutely everything. This video is merely an additional bonus. Let me clarify this further. So after we link the license here, which will be found within the MQL5 files section, you'll need to place the expert advisor file into its designated expert advisor folder. Then you simply take the license key and paste it right here. Once you've completed all these steps, you can close MetaTrader. Otherwise, you'd have to perform an actual update, meaning you'd need to resync it. But it's much better to completely close your MetaTrader application and then reopen it. Then you come, for example, to Bitcoin, whatever chart or M5 it is, and then you connect the Elliott analyzer.
I want you to come here.
You'll have to synchronize this. For it, here you're going to take, voila. Then the moment you click on the Elliott Wave Analyzer, it will show up right here. You must authorize the inputs. Then you proceed to authorize the inputs and click OK.
There's another very important point that we need to link with the API. Now, as you can see here on Bitcoin, it had previously provided us with an entry zone at 76,163 and the stop loss was set at 75,428. Target number 1 is 79,395. Target number 2 is 79,800 and so on. Then the aggressive target is 80,618. This is entirely in accordance with the quantitative algorithms of Elliott Wave Theory. I mean, even if you were to bring in the absolute best, most highly certified expert in Elliott Wave Theory, they would still provide you with precisely this same numbering on the charts. And that's because this particular software has been extensively trained for this purpose. His server, you see, is quite experienced and truly proficient in Elliott Wave Theory, strictly adhering to all the established rules that everyone universally agrees upon. This involves the precise counting of waves and other crucial analytical aspects of the market's movement. Ultimately, it then presented a significantly high bullish score, reaching an impressive 84%. If you want to increase the accuracy even further, you should go to the dashboard right here. You can choose the language that best suits your needs here. You have the options of Arabic and English. Is that clear? And right here, it will provide you with the numbering. This is a live method here, and it provides you with the specific points or the levels that were plotted after the impulsive wave and the collective wave as a whole. Here, observe that with Bitcoin, there's a remarkably high degree of precision when it comes to applying Elliott wave principles and Fibonacci analysis, among other techniques. For instance, it provides an entry point at 76,000 with a stop loss set at 75,000. As we previously mentioned, the risk-reward ratio for this particular trade is 1.5. This is regarding the time frame selection. If a person is working with the M15 chart, for example, or the H1 chart, you would then come down here and select the M15 time frame. At this point, the expert advisor will then re-extract all the necessary data. This will provide you with a new reading for the M15. Please note at this point that the data has varied. The reason for this is that our target here is the M15. Consequently, the chosen time frame is significantly smaller. So right here, it provides you with the optimal entry for short selling, specifically for a bearish position, which is at 77,000. It indicates that the best entry point, as dictated by Elliott's rules, is right here. So it provides you with a practical real-world representation of Elliott. Similarly, if you consult the best expert, they will give you the exact same interpretation. But if you consult 3, 4, or even 5 experts or individuals who work with Elliott and you find a discrepancy in the wave count or a similar difference, then this is precisely what resolves that dispute. It settles the conflict because it doesn't possess emotions or like visual considerations or simply mere conjectures. It operates on rules, mathematical processes based purely on statistics, no more, no less. So here it provides you, here it just tells you the confidence is 47. The difference between Ishkater and the M15 is in clarity and accuracy. The M15 doesn't offer high accuracy. We explained this in the guide. That's why I emphasize that we must read this user guide carefully. The user manual has 53 pages, but it's actually just 30 pages. We really must read it very, very carefully to fully understand that when we find the precision of these 47. So we definitely need to work on a longer time frame. So here on the M15, for example, the accuracy here is 47. We'll enter it here once more. Let's check here again so we can find it. Voila. That's enough. Thank you. It gives you the entry point at 77 and such. But here, you'll notice that the overall global score, which is what we depend on, is actually 47. While it's true that in the wave there's precision, in Fibonacci there's simply no accuracy, meaning a score of just 50 out of 100. So our reliance, you see, is on the overall score for this, not solely on wave clarity or Fibonacci or even the precision of Fibonacci. No, it's the total. The total is this score that you'll find in MetaTrader, which in this case is 47 out of 100. So we cannot rely on it here, and our buy signal is neutral. Is that clear? If we take, for instance, a daily example, every single user has the ability to access and attempt more than 200 requests within an hour. And in the same way, I need to re-emphasize this point. You absolutely must read the user manual because we have clearly explained within it how many times you are able to use it, what the specific mechanisms are, and so on. On the on the daily chart, you can see the accuracy is 85%. We reiterate that these were entry points and we still have the same target. This is regarding Bitcoin. If you take the Euro USD, it's the same thing. We'll do the same exercise. We'll take the Elliott Wave here, then we'll set it to authorized right here and click OK. This will make it refetch all the data in about 5 seconds or even less than 5 seconds, maybe just 4 seconds. It'll then tell you for the Euro USD, here's its setup. Look at the clarity, look at the accuracy. It's very high in Euro USD on the daily. The level is falling, meaning in just 5 seconds, you can determine for the Euro USD based on, according to Elliott's rules, what the overall general trend is. The general trend, it is indeed downward. For the Euro USD, the specific points or levels that we are anticipating, strictly according to Elliott, of course, and I do emphasize strictly according to Elliott, are 1.143 and so forth. If you'd like to view these levels on the Clara interface here on TradingView, it's only tied to enitrader site. You won't find it on TradingView itself. It gives you the entry here with utmost precision. I repeat, with utmost precision, it gives you the entry here. Then it gives you the first, second, and third levels and the stop loss here. The most important thing is this score, which shows 84 high accuracy. Then there are other important points. So the video doesn't get too long. It shows you the first wave, where it started, where it ended, and its accuracy. Truly, there are some very important points here. Pause. The question is, did the price movement actually respect the rules? Pause. In this case, there's 100% adherence to rule number 1, the very first rule, which states that the second wave did not exceed 100% of the first wave. It's okay. The second rule, what was it that we were discussing? We have the third wave here. The third wave, I mean, it wasn't the shortest wave at all. And it was the wave this is the third wave, the one you're seeing right now. This right here is the third wave. So here you'll understand the numbers, folks. So this first wave, second, the third was longer than the fourth, the fifth, and these are the collective waves. And it gives you your exact entry point right here at 1.179. So all of this is important. And what's even more crucial are the data and the precision of this information that you absolutely must take into consideration. This is a very important point, and also so the video doesn't get too long, we have in the plans, meaning in the available bundles, there's a package for people who want to get the Elliott Wave along with enitrader or MPA. What's the use or the added value of enitrader or MPA? It gives you the framework, it gives you the macro economic framework based on the economic news, based on the quote, based on the quotes report, and based on market sentiment. This is all available on the markets, and for further clarification, and this is also similarly available in the guide. You can read it and understand if there's but this is purely for the sake of clarification. For the purpose of clarification, it's extremely important that we grasp these matters. If you want to comprehend the overall movement of the price here, you absolutely must consider the economic framework. So, if you were to exclude the macro aspect here, you would lose your competitive edge. But if you align yourself with the general economic framework and focus solely on the trend that is consistent with the macroeconomic framework, then here you can achieve levels that have a very high probability of being realized. Clear? Now, this is a very important point, guys. Let's go back here. There's another important point regarding downloading and relying on the expert advisor. It's like we come here to tools, then options, and then we add this specific API, which is connected to the enitrader.com website. So what I mean is we navigate here to expert advisor. I'll just repeat that for you to fully understand. We come back to tools right here. Options, you'll see expert consultant, or you might find it as expert advisor. You come over here to the authorized section, then you click plus and you type in the address of this website that you'll find in the guide. The exact same file, just like this one. Then you click OK. You'll need to close and then reopen MetaTrader for it to properly function. So when you come to click right here and you press this button, it will connect you directly to the enitrader website, and there you will find these items. This is because these specific elements are not inherently available within MetaTrader itself. These are the ones. He just gives you precisely what you need. Brish, Euro USD, Brish. So if we take, for example, let's consider any NVIDIA as a perfect example. Let's take NVIDIA. It's something completely and totally new. Is that clear? All right, this is NVIDIA. If someone wants to analyze NVIDIA, for example, just to try it out with you here on a time frame that we'll set up the same way, which is also authorized, we'll select OK, we'll choose, for example, H4.
Here it is, over here. It will give you the full golden zone points specifically for your entry. It also provides you with NVIDIA's next target levels, specifically 206, 208, and 211. From this point, you can then go and open TradingView, which is directly linked to the analyzer on the website. You see here, it tells you the best entry point for NVIDIA is at 184. So you can't really risk it here and enter based on the first TP being 206. The best entry point, you can add plus 5% or minus 5% to define a zone, but this 184 is the best entry point. These are the levels we've been closely monitoring for NVIDIA. The same principle applies to all stocks. If someone is trading spot, they'll find any stock here. The precision is remarkably high, 92. I mean, I genuinely respect all the established rules and guidelines of Elliott, NVIDIA, and so on. I believe I've explained everything quite thoroughly now. Well, we should remember that this software operates using quantitative algorithms, and its primary goal is not to provide recommendations. The purpose of this is to save time, to overcome the psychological or emotional issue or the differences in viewpoints, because these are rules that repeat themselves. If we adhere to them in a mathematical way, then there will no longer be any aspect of human interference, because we are talking about data and we are talking about numbers. This is for those interested in Elliott Wave. And as I mentioned, we must focus on the economic side to identify the market's general direction and act accordingly. So when there's a convergence that you have bullish sentiment here for NVIDIA or Bitcoin or others, and you have bullish sentiment in meaning the macro context is also bullish, then there's a convergence. If, for example, we're talking about gold, if we were to go and look at gold, for example, right here, let's go back to MetaTrader. Let's go to gold. Gold gives you also here on the long term, it indicates bearish, meaning short selling here. If the macro context tells you that inflation is rising or the de-escalation between Iran and America isn't at its best, or it's a fragile de-escalation, or there are no negotiations, then this supports our current approach. This means we need to focus on economic catalysts. This is everything, and it's crucial to read the guide. Folks, there isn't any strategy or magic product. We just try to make it easier for people to make their decisions, as ultimately each person is responsible for their choices. They should just rely on data, use their intellect, and critical thinking is very important. And may God grant success to all of you. For any questions you might have, you'll also find them when you enter the guide. You will find the contact emails and the WhatsApp number. Everything is quite clear, my friends. Everything is self-explanatory, and God is our ultimate helper. God willing, may He grant success to each and every one of you, and peace be upon you all.